Welcome to the Points in the Paint podcast. Another week, more NBA basketball. Ben Wittenstein.
Zach Badger House, always in the house. How we doing, Benny boy?
We're doing good. NBA season, we're now kind of at that point that we talked about, right? 15 to 20 games in. We really know what the teams are looking like. We know who are the pretenders, who are the contenders. We kind of have a good idea now of what, for the most part, the NBA is going to look like for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the reigning champs got their first road win this past weekend, and so yeah, we'll see if they'll be able to turn the corner. We got some teams that we probably never would have thought have been playing well that we've been talking about all year so far with the Kings and the Wizards. We're gonna dive right in, but first, Ben, let the people know where they can get the podcast.
Yeah, you can find us anywhere you get your pods: Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever it is. We're also on the tube, the YouTube.
Yes, definitely on the
Is that
tube.
what people call it, the tube these days? Where you can find all the episodes there. Go and subscribe. It's to Stadium, so you get all the cool Stadium content along with our podcasts and along with the podcasts that we film, honestly, which is always good, and some clips with that.
Right.
So yeah, find us there. You can call us as well. The voicemail line is always open. Zach,
yes, it is.
24/7.
773.
It's gonna be Thanksgiving coming up. It's gonna be open.
9088.
There you go. 773-273-9088. Give us a call. Give us a text. Love to hear from you. And Facebook as well. So we're everywhere.
We're all
you
over.
can find us wherever. And Twitter.
We're all
of course.
over. Yeah.
Points Paint.
You be on that hotline. No
Of
worries.
course.
You're going to definitely be on a hotline.
Little Drake movement here.
That hotline bling.
So let's jump into it. We got one big thing of the week, and this has been a reoccurring theme for the last
It's kinda
couple of
crazy
weeks for us, and we've been talking about these two teams. It's the Kings and the Wizards. And we were talking about them, and you were like, all right, they're winning. They're putting together some wins. They're
Now, don't pause
decent.
us. Don't stop us. Don't change the podcast because we're talking Kings and Wizards. I just want to throw that out.
Yeah, no.
No, that's not popular teams to be talking about in the NBA.
Yeah, I know. I
just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, don't swipe up and have the podcast go away because we're not. Listen, the Kings and Wizards, this is the thing. And this is why you're going to listen to the Points in the Paint podcast. This is going to make you a smarter NBA fan talking about the Kings and the Wizards.
There you go.
You're not talking about LeBron and the Lakers or the Celtics or the
'cause
big teams.
exactly.
You know, we could talk about that, but Kings and the Wizards are fun, first of all.
They are.
And they're good. Kings have won 6 in a row. Wizards, 7 of their last 10. 7 of their last 8, I think, as well. I mean, they put together a nice little streak. These are legitimately good teams.
Good teams. So far, we know, listen, the Kings, I can ride that bandwagon. I can ride that bandwagon. Mike Brown coming over. A lot of people were questioning whether or not he'll be able to do it because of that one outing he had in the playoffs where the Warriors were looking very bad when Steve Kerr was out. But you fast forward, and now he has his team on a win streak, probably their first win streak, I think, in a very, very long time, Ben.
Yeah.
I think when they beat the Nets last week, there was the first time they beat a team by 30 points since, 2015.
Jeez.
So, and that was the first time they've had a 30-point win in general throughout the course of more than once.
Yep.
In the last 10 years.
They've been so bad.
They've been so bad. So you got to give Sacramento Kings, like the beam, folks, because you got to give them their
Get the beam up there. Get the beam alive. I think that's the coolest, stupidest, dumbest thing.
Is.
And
No,
it's
it
so
is.
fun, though.
It's so bizarre.
Cool.
It's kind of lame, but at the same
lame.
time, it's necessary because they've been unsuccessful
Here's the thing, right?
year after year.
Any other team did this, it would be the
Probably
stupidest thing in the world.
Yeah,
but
even
because it's the Kings, you're like, all right, you kind of deserve this dumb thing because you've been
drought.
so bad.
Mm-hmm.
You've been so bad that we'll give this to you. We'll let you have it. And it's fun. Maybe they'll, imagine if they go all the way to the playoffs, you get some playoff beam action. It's a really stupid, fun gimmick, and they've been doing so well. They're 5th in the West. I think they're here to stay.
I think
they're here to stay. I mean, I don't know if they're going to, finish top 5 in the West, but this is a playoff team. For sure a playoff team. Mike Brown's
Playoff team
playoff
or
team.
play-in team?
Playoff team?
Playoff team?
Playoff team?
That's top 6 now.
Top 6.
That is top 6. Top 6, guarantee you.
Well, I mean, so here's the thing, right? You look at the stats. Who are some of these teams they're going to move into, and even the playoff spot or the play-in spot? Warriors probably will, I would imagine.
Possibly.
Timberwolves.
Man,
it's up
listen,
in the air.
I have no faith in them whatsoever. I wrote about them this past week. Well, one player in particular that I don't even like that. So you go make sure you check out that impressive 6.
There you go.
I wrote about one of the players from the Timberwolves.
They're a weird team.
They are.
Mean, at most, they're a play-in team. At most, for me, they're a play-in
It's like
team.
they play to lose when they're winning.
Yes.
When the
they
Timberwolves.
don't have a drive. They need like that Jimmy Butler persona
you said it. I ain't
to
say
push
it.
them. They need someone like that. It's very bizarre. But I really do think the Kings could be a top 8, top 7 team. I would say I think playoff team. It's a stretch.
See what I do, y'all?
It's a
I
stretch.
make him think about it. See, when I make Ben think about his initial reaction, he kind of dial it back a little bit. See?
It's a stretch. Just looking through the standings now, I mean, I think it's definitely possible, but it's certainly a stretch. But I think they're for sure going to be a top 8 team.
Okay,
for
that's
sure
fair.
a top 8 team.
That's fair.
They've just been playing so well. They've looked really good, especially at home. 6-3 at home. They've looked really good. They play as a team. They don't have those stupid Kings mistakes where, they're just giving up leads or they're making dumb mistakes down the stretch. That was the old Kings young team of old. It's not, they're grown up. They've gotten some good veteran pieces and they're playing like a good team. De'Aaron Fox is, I was watching a couple of their plays and, I'm thinking like, this looks like the old Spurs team. They're moving the ball well. They're getting space. They're finding their shots. They don't look like they're stressed or pushing back in a bad way. It's just the team is clicking on all cylinders, and that's why they're winning 6 games in a row right now.
Well, I like that energy that you're giving out. De'Aaron Fox, he balling. Malik Monk, he getting the posters, and Sabonis is playing like he was basically in Indiana, and that's what all you can ask
that's
for.
the thing. That's the
what
nice
I'm saying,
part.
the double doubles, the 19 and 10. He's crashing the glass with aggressiveness. Like I can enjoy that, but I know the Wild West, and the Wild West can get gritty. And then the Sacramento Kings, they got kind of a tough stretch their next few games. Yeah, John Morant's not out. He has an ankle injury. He's going to be week to week, Ben. Mm-hmm. But I want to say they got the Grizzlies. They play well without Ja. Atlanta Hawks, they're going to be fully loaded. It's the Boston Celtics. And they have the Phoenix Suns. So that's a 4-game stretch where it's really going to show.
3 on the road, too.
3 on the road. And it's really going to show whether or not, Ben, they really have the firepower for the long run.
Yeah, 100%. So they're playing well. The Wizards, too, also another team playing well, 7 of their last 10.
Yeah.
And they're a team that I think I believe less in the Wizards than I do in the Kings.
That's fair.
But the Wizards themselves have been playing well. They're a fun team. They're built really well, and they've been doing a lot of this without Bradley Beal, too, which has been impressive. So
yeah, they popped that question last week. He was wilding.
Are they better without Bradley Beal? But I do think that this is a team that is built. I was always surprised they didn't play as well as they did because I think on paper they are a really good team.
Yeah, you see the growth of Kyle Kuzma.
But yes, Kyle Kuzma's been huge for them, and obviously with Beal now back and playing really well. Porzingis, in his role, I think it works. And I think the nice part about Porzingis is if Beal does go down or Kuzma goes down again, he can step up, and he is shown to step up when they are missing a star player. He did it in Dallas when Luka went down. He did it with Washington when Beal went down. So he's a good stopgap to have to know that he can come out and score 30 points if he has to.
If he has to, for sure. And then one thing I do want to mention about the Washington Wizards is that you did say last week on the pod that they're going to play Miami not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Yeah.
So they do have that going for them. So that's going to be true test. And they also got Boston again, the rematch between the 2 guys from St. Louis. But I do want to throw this out there. I think they've been successful because they brought back the 06-07 uniforms, and then I think they retired.
Those do look good.
I think they retired Antoine Jameson, Gilbert Arenas, and Karan Butler's jersey.
The big 3.
Yeah. Ain't that crazy? They call themselves the Big 3. I ain't even mad at it, right? Because back then, what do we have? We had Boston's Big 3.
Yeah, that was the original, the OG Big 3.
You got the Boston Big 3, and then with them, they had a Big 3, but I don't think there was any, because for them at that time, it's a Big 3.
Yeah,
you look back at it now, that's like a mid 3. Like it's not.
That's you look at that, you're like, okay, those are 3 players, I guess. You just name 3
that's
guys
like the
from
New
the
York
team.
Knicks Big 3 of today. The
Yes.
3 lefties, right?
Yeah.
With R.J. Barrett, Drew Randall, and our boy from that we knew was going to New York, Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that you just see 3 players and you go, okay, they're the big 3 for that team. It's like kind of like what the Bulls do with Vucevic and Levine and DeRozan. Hey, big 3. Okay, I guess it's your 3 best players. That's really what it is. It's the top 3 or the mid 3. It's one of the 2. It's not the big 3. That was LeBron, Bosh, and Wade, I think, is the original true big 3. But, kudos to the Wizards for doing that.
Yeah, they're playing well.
And the jerseys look great. They're playing well. They're playing free. Wes Unseld has them playing like a team. So I think this is again another team that people didn't expect to play super well this season, but there was a lot of question marks and there was a chance they could do well.
Yeah.
and they're really showing out. They're playing to the ceiling, I think, of their potential at this point. The way they've been playing, and
it
7
might
out
be
of
their
10.
Ceiling. Yeah, I think you're right. Hitting the head on the head.
Well, that's the
hit
thing.
hammer on the head.
Is this a playoff team or a play-in team?
See, originally for me, I always, like in the preview, you go back, watch stadium.com and check out that NBA preview, Zach Badgerhouse.
There you go.
But
little plug.
Before the season started, I had the Wizards, I believe, just outside the playoffs in the play-in scenario. And even speaking with Ava, I think she felt the same way too. Ava Wallace of Washington Post. Make sure you check that interview out too from this past month. A
lot of plugs.
Yeah, a lot of plugs. But I think at some point, they may fizzle out an injury of some sort. I think that always happens to Washington like that. It's unfortunate too.
The East is both a mess and competitive at the same time, which is very weird. I mean, you have teams like the Heat and the Knicks and the Nets, the 9, 10, 11. I mean, that's wild right now. One of those teams is out of the play-in game, and a lot of people expected the Heat to be a lot better than they are, and the Knicks are kind of straggling.
Depends on who you ask with Miami. You asked me if I thought Miami would be struggling like they are, I would say yes, man.
Okay, that's fair enough. And the Nets, I mean, who knows with the Nets now? They have Kyrie back. Maybe they're going to play even better than they've been playing. They've won 6 of the last 10, so there's a lot of room to maneuver. The Pacers are ahead of the Wizards in the East right now. This is a team that's supposed to be tanking, one of the worst in the NBA.
They are supposed to be tanking. They are supposed to be
They're
bad.
9-6. Their win total was like low 20s.
Definitely low 20s. But the gag is, though, being with the Pacers, is it time to give Rick Carlisle, a little credit for this?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because I think last year, he got a little blame for how badly they were playing last year, especially
100%.
when they were kind of in the play-in scenario, and then they kind of just fizzled out and like just went out of completely the playoff scenario in general with the Indiana Pacers. And so you look at this team now, they got Halliburton, they got Buddy Hield, Miles Turner. 2 of those 3 guys are rumored for trade block on the trade block every single week, it seems like.
Matherin's been great.
The rookie. So
this is the Pacers are a team that's fun and actually looks like they might be good or at least competitive every night. They've won 4 in a row, 8 of their last 10. Like, that's insane for a Pacers team that people were counting out. So the East is filled with a lot of teams that could potentially make the playoffs and playing game. It's just packed in there. It's packed in there right now. I mean, the Pacers are the 5 and the Wizards are the 6 seed. I don't think anyone would have expected that, even this early on in the season. We have another thing, and we maybe I'll put like a siren theme song, but
this one right here, I had to get you for this one. Kawhi, I had to.
Kawhi 2 games
in a row. Played 2 games in a row this year.
2 games for Kawhi. 2 games in a row. Honestly, that's good for him. He did it. That's the big achievement of Kawhi's career this season. 2 games in a row. The guy's been out, in and out of the lineup, mostly out of the lineup.
Mostly out.
I mean, that's the story of his career the past 3 or 4 years. He's super ultra load management guy. Is he good? Is he here to stay?
That's the big question.
Is he here to stay? And I don't know if he is. I wouldn't bet on it.
Well, I just want him to really, honestly, I just want him to play. Just get out there and play.
Yeah, just do
like
something,
the whole management, the knee management thing, it just makes it seem like he was never fully healthy. And if you're not fully healthy, you shouldn't even be like on the lineup, questionable, anything that. Like if you're out, you're out. Just be out. Or if you're gonna play him minimum minutes, then do so. Like, but don't give the fans who pay all this money to come see this team play, whether it's at home, whether it's on the road, and people are expecting Mr. Load Management, the key guy for load management, to get his butt out there and play after missing a whole year. And I feel like I've been repeating myself this entire time because it's like the 3rd time we've talked about this but I just feel like he got to play. It's overdue. I think his teammates are probably at some point are going to be pushing that narrative again for him to play. So
I would certainly be annoyed by him if I was his teammate. So good on him. You know, he's back, hopefully healthy, and hopefully he's can get his stuff together and actually play a decent amount of games back to back. Can he make it 3? Can he make it 3, folks? Let's see what's trending. We'll go around the NBA, some trending topics. Well, our boy Anthony Davis, day-to-day Davis, as we love to call him. He's day-to-day, but he's putting up shots and points day-to-day now. He's 3 straight 30-plus point games.
Himself.
He did, and maybe it took the absence of LeBron to help him really have the space to maneuver a little bit.
Okay.
But he's not only been scoring, 30-plus points in 3 straight games, it's been efficient. 60-plus percentage from the field.
Nice.
He's looked good. Like, he's been the old Anthony Davis that people expected him to be consistently. And he's been somewhat consistent now because it's been 3 straight games.
It's been 3 straight games. And you know what I like even more, Ben? You mentioned the fact that He's scoring all these points. The man is on the glass, folks.
Yep.
He's on the glass. He ain't getting 8 rebounds, 7 rebounds, nothing like that. I think in these last 3 games, he's at least had 15-plus rebounds in every game.
That's what they need.
That's the mentality you got to have as a big in this league. Come on, AD, man. I know you can do it every night. Maybe not go out there and get 15 rebounds like DeAndre Drummond or something in his heyday, but at least just be able to go out there, get 10 rebounds as a 7-footer. There's no excuse for it, in my humble opinion.
No, 100%. I agree. I mean, the thing is like, if this was anybody else, would be saying, oh my God, he's had an amazing stat line. The guy's getting double-doubles, mid-teens in the rebounds. This is expected from Anthony Davis.
Definitely expected.
This is expected from him. This is what he should be doing, especially with LeBron near the twilight of his career. I mean, this is Anthony Davis's team.
Carry the team.
This is his
AD.
team.
Yes.
He needs to be doing 30-plus points. He should be a 30-10 guy every single night. Maybe 30 and 10 is a lot. 25 and 10.
25 and 10,
every
easy.
single
It shouldn't
night.
even be no question. But the sad part is, I think we talked about this and we brought this up on the podcast last week. Remember, I asked you, well, how many points and rebounds you think he averaged already? And it's 23 and 10, but it is the quietest being. I mean, the absolute quietest.
Yeah, he can't be doing
23,
quiet.
25 and 10 in the NBA.
Yeah, he can't be quiet at all. So this is one of those things. I would love to see it from Kawhi. I want to see it from AD now. Consistency.
Both teams, look at that. Both teams in LA. We started out talking Wizards. We started out talking about.
We only talk about teams on the coast.
And the
That's
Kings,
all we do.
And
Kings,
we just miraculously get to LA. See how we do?
Big market. Here we go.
Big market. Here we go.
Let's see. Let's go middle America.
Okay, small market.
Yeah, a little small market. Little SGA action.
SGA
Gilgeous
action.
Alexander, 50, 40, 90.
Splits.
For those that don't know, 50% field goal percentage, 40% three-point percentage, 90% free throw percentage. It's a rare mark, a rare feat. SGA.
Knocking it down
He's
so
doing
far.
it.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking good.
The last person to finish with this stat line was the notable Wardell, Stephen Curry. You may have heard of him. The 2016.
Just a little bit.
The 2016 MVP season for Steph Curry was the year he had the 50, 40, 90 splits in terms of efficiency. If SGA can keep that up, what do you think about MVP? Or I know that may be jumping the gun, but I can bring it down a little bit. I can simmer that down.
Okay.
What do you think about the idea of my man's making an All-Star game? I know you can talk to me nice right there.
100%. SGA should 100% be an All-Star. MVP, I would be the first one to back him for an MVP candidacy.
Okay.
You need Oklahoma City to be better, probably,
That's
to be
probably
a
true.
little bit of a better team, move up in the Western Conference standings. But they've been winning games they probably shouldn't be winning. They've been winning as underdogs a lot. And it's been a big reason because of SGA's play. 53% field goal percentage, 41% from 3, 90% free throw. Like, the guy has been absurd. He's been absurd. And he's a big reason why Oklahoma City's been this good this far. I think OKC needs to be a playoff team for him to at least have a shot at MVP.
Yeah, no, that'd be crazy.
But I would love to hear people start talking about SGA MVP.
Absolutely.
I'll start the candidacy. I'll be knocking on doors, getting people to vote for him. I'm happy to do it.
Like the energy. 42 points. He tied his career high in that last outing against the Wizards. Knocked the game winner down. Ooh, he knocked the game winner. And it was a 3. It was for 3. So the smooth killer crossover left to right,
knocking
it down. I was highly impressed.
Yeah.
Impressed to the point that it made the article.
Yeah, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about SGA. Always happy to talk about SGA. Another guy, KD, 25 plus.
Every game this season.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, hey, betting folks. 25 plus.
Put in a little same game parlay.
Yeah,
one game
25 plus. You want to do that? Bet KD to score 25 and that's to win. You could do that actually tomorrow night. Tuesday night of this recording, you can definitely do that.
There you go.
Definitely can do that.
He's
Why?
been playing great.
Nobody for the Sixers is going to play.
Well, here's a question.
Uh-oh.
Kyrie's back.
He is.
You scared about making that bet now?
Nope.
Scoring opportunities.
He's done it every
down?
game. Kyrie came back, still had 25.
All right. There you go. Trust the process right there. Trust the math.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson. We can just keep going through some of these players that have been playing well. Klay Thompson.
He's back.
We talked about him a week or two ago. We would have been like, he's done. He's looking bad.
He's a shell of himself, is
Yes.
what we would have said.
And
a
now,
shell of himself.
He has grown into that shell, back to his normal self.
Yes.
Because he's coming off a 41-point outing against the Rockets. 10 threes.
How many?
10 threes. And, he's been scoring. He had a 20-plus point game and a high 20s game. And, he's had a 3-game stretch now. He's looked like the old Klay Thompson,
Definitely
which they
looking like the old
absolutely
Klay.
need.
needed.
They needed. Yeah.
And look at that. Look what it took for them to win their first road game, being. That's the context of that. That's their first road win for the season.
That's so
the
stupid.
Golden State Warriors. And my man's Klay Thompson had to go out there and score 41 points,
and it was against the Rockets.
And it was against the Rockets, who look like they're tanking again this season because they've been playing extremely poor. But go back to the Warriors. 23 made threes between 3 players, the most in NBA history. Wardell, Klay Thompson, and your boy Andrew Wiggins. I think they added a splash, bro. I don't know. They might have added a splash, brother. You tell me, Ben. I don't know. You let me know, Ben, how you feel.
Oh, man. I'm just happy to see Klay doing well again.
No, facts.
The NBA is more fun when Klay Thompson's playing well. I'm happy to see him doing it. He's a guy I root for. He's just a goofy guy. Like, he's fun.
Straight goofy.
He takes baths in the ocean. Like, he goes under the Golden Gate Bridge and
ride
starts
the bike
bathing.
to the game.
Yeah. He's just a great guy. So I'm always happy when he can play well. And when he plays well, too, it's gorgeous. He's just knocking down threes. He's got the smoothest shot in the NBA when it's working.
Yes.
10 for 13. Like, you can't argue against that. Something's working. Something's clicking with Klay Thompson now. And the Warriors desperately needed it.
I hope, Ben, that he continues because they need all these wins because they're not doing very hot to Golden State Warriors. We got to be honest with ourselves. I know they ain't really been getting that much attention in terms of, you know what I'm saying, news coverage because they haven't been playing well, but it's time to get the ball rolling. They've won 2 straight.
Yep.
They've won 2 straight. I'm happy for that.
The hangover's over. You get 20 games to have a little title hangover.
Okay, I like
and
that.
And then you
energy.
get back into it. And
okay.
I think that's what we're finally seeing the Warriors happen in Golden State. Never will I ever. I didn't have any this week, and I'll be honest, it's because my NBA betting has been lackluster. It has been bad. I have been losing money, so I haven't been doing it a lot this week.
Right, so that's
I'm trying to
why,
save the payroll here.
But see, that's the thing, though. Never will I ever get you that opportunity to reflect on those bets, and you can actually talk about how poorly this team or maybe these players have been doing.
But see, here's the problem.
Okay,
I never will I ever bet on anything in the NBA ever again because it's
that's
been so
extreme.
bad for me.
That's extreme. Like who hasn't come through for you? Like because I'm gonna tell you right now, Donovan Mitchell the other night did not come in the clutch for me.
I mean, look, I'll go through some of my NBA bets and look what's working, and I'll tell you this. I'll tell you what I will always do now is now that Ja has been out and they don't have Desmond Bane, I might not do it as much. But Grizzlies' first quarter team total over has been hot.
Since last season.
Yeah, as long as it's
since last season.
It's
Yeah.
As long as it's over 27, 28, it might be, when they had everyone healthy, it was 30, 31 at times. But without Desmond, without Ja, if you can get it at like 26, 27 and a half, oh, baby, slam that over. It is automatic. It is an automatic bet, and I don't know what it is. I don't know why the lines haven't adjusted, but Memphis was one of the best first quarter scoring teams last season, and they're one of the best this season. Okay. So I think you just have to continue to hit that. But NBA betting wise, man, it's just been, like,
get it off your chest.
I always bet on Lowry Markkanen at the wrong time. I bet his over, and he gets like 13 points. That happened a couple times. Dallas hasn't come through for me. I bet Brooklyn moneyline against the Kings right after we talked about how well the Kings were playing. So that was
boneheaded
stupid move on me. It's not just one thing. That's the thing. It's like I'll bet a player prop. It's not working. It's just got to recalibrate here. Got to take a couple days off.
Okay.
Maybe eat some Thanksgiving food, have a nice little nap, wake up, and then start the weekend and bet some NBA games that way. For
me, I think what I'm going to like is Tyrese Halliburton assist. I'm always taking that. Yeah. So I'll never will I ever not take Tyrese Halliburton assist total. 8.5, 9.5. More than likely, it's probably going to be 9.5. I think I've only seen him not go over that at least once with the games that I've watched so far this year, being the 5 or 6 games that I have watched with the Indiana Pacers. So I will say that. But I will never, will I ever, at least the rest of this week, bet with Donovan Mitchell. Can't do it. That's my man. He shoot pretty well. But he was struggling, man. Yeah. He did not come through. He didn't even get 20 points. I think his point total was like 25.5. He didn't even get 20. Yeah, I was disappointed in the 20. So never will I ever be in bet. At least this week, Donovan Mitchell.
Cavs have been weird. Cavs have been a weird team. They started out great, and I think staying
they doing a little fizzle. Yeah,
until they figure it out, I think is really the move here that you got to do. On the hotline as we go, and always love to hear from the listeners. Yeah, we love to hear from listeners. Text, calling, Facebook, whatever it is, 773-273-9088. We got Chris in Texas.
Uh-oh.
He said, yeah, Zach, you see them Splash Bros.
Oh, man.
Oh, did we see him?
Yeah, I did.
Just talked about him.
We definitely
there you go.
did. 23 threes and I think, 17 between Steph and Klay alone. So, yeah, you're right. I hear you. I hear the noise. You know, they may be trying to turn the page like you mentioned with the hangover. They're trying to wake up, get it all out their system, go get some coffee, put the egg in the glass and stir it up, however they get their hangover methods out the way.
Gatorade, whatever
they got to do, right? So,
go pray on it. Whatever you do to get the hangover out of the way. They're doing that
now.
They took 20 games to do it, 15 to 20 games. They'll probably be back to their old selves.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They tied themselves for the most threes. They tied themselves for the most threes between two guys in the game.
You can always count on the Warriors to do something really stupid. But, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say the Warriors are back. But
it's coming along.
The arrow's pointing up.
Yeah.
The arrow's pointing up for sure.
Yep. I like it. Chris in Texas. Okay, I see you. And don't forget, folks, make sure you can always hit us up on the hotline, 773-273-9088. Twitter feed, Instagram feed, Facebook feed, whatever you like. Give us some comments, concerns.
You're on Thanksgiving, you had a little too much to drink, little libations.
Yep.
You're like, oh, I have an NBA hot take I want to get out there. Give us a call.
Give us a
call.
Text.
Yeah,
you
go
ain't
on Facebook.
Yeah,
send it
you
out.
could be under the influence. That's fine.
Honestly, that's better. That's even better. I may call in intoxicated on Thursday. Who knows?
What you gonna say?
You have an NBA take.
You know what B ain't gonna say though? The Bulls are winning it all. Just come through.
I convinced myself the Bulls are doing it.
Lonzo's coming back.
Yeah. That's what's going to happen.
Bulls in 6, because we don't ever see 7 games. You better ask Michael.
Yep, only 6.
You better ask Michael.
No 7 games when Lonzo's playing.
And there you have it, folks. That's going to conclude this edition of Points in the Paint podcast presented by Stadium. I am Zach Badgerhouse, and that was my main man, Ben Wittenstein. You can follow us on our social handles, respectively, of course. Make sure that you follow, subscribe, and listen to Points in the Paint podcast. Tell your friends about the podcast. Make sure you check out Zach Impressive 6. Make sure you check out NBA Best Bets featuring Ben Wittenstein. Yeah, he having a little rough slump, but we going to bounce back, though. It's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. I promise you. Don't worry. And
retirement is soon if that happens.
No. Listen. Well, we coming back like 2-3 right back again in 95, so don't need trip. And you will hear from us, Zach and Ben, next week. Enjoy your holiday.